Oh man, it's been a whole lot of speculation, but I'm guessing they done proved it now. And the reason I'm gonna say they proved it, I know a lot of y'all like to mess with Mr. I ain't got no hatred for him, you know what I'm saying? But the white channel that does this type of content, but I mess with the black channel. And the black channel is street certified news, you know what I'm saying? Of this type of content, of getting you the real raw paperwork unbiasedly. And let's check out with him. Man, he got a hellified name, dog. Mr. Guapo, you know what I'm saying? Cool folks. But anyway, check this out.
2005, safety trooper Darren Chase was on a routine patrol on Interstate 40 in Wheeler County, Texas, when he would pull over a 2005 Cadillac for driving 77 in a 70-mile-per-hour speed zone. The driver, later identified as Cash McElroy Jones, stated that he was a truck driver and always ran about 5 miles over the limit.
I can't really talk about nobody middle name or nothing, but I gotta laugh at that one, McElroy.
He also stated that he was en route to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a funeral. At some point during the traffic stop, the trooper would ask Cash Jones for permission to search his vehicle. After denying the request, K9 units were called to the scene. During the search, troopers located a black rifle, black shotgun, a loaded black pistol, along with several clips and large amounts of ammunition for each gun. Following the recovery of the firearms from the vehicle, both Cash Jones and his passenger, who would later go on to be identified as his brother, would be arrested, with both men.
Hold on. A further search of the vehicle revealed a cigarette rolling apparatus which contained a strong odor of marijuana. And yo, fellas, I don't know if you're paying attention, but this dude is a felony who has clearly crossed several state lines with a car full of guns. That within itself is a crime. Then being a felon in possession, it's like 3 or 4 Class A felonies here. But let's go.
Being charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Soon after this arrest, he will be briefly placed on a Fed hold before posting a $10,000 bond. Once out of jail, Wack 100 will travel back to Los Angeles, where he would continue working with Death Row Records and Suge Knight. Only 2 years later, in January 2008, police would name Knight as one of the members of the mob Pyru Street Gang in a crackdown by authorities in the city of Compton. Despite his music industry connections and now managing Ray J and rapper The Game, Wack 100's name would be left out of the crackdown. In that same year,
let's just finish watching it, man.
As Jones, aka Wack 100, would be caught on wiretap, informing business partner Mark Stevens that the Main Street Mafia Crip leader Liddell Rawls was under investigation for the kidnapping and beating of Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox. Liddell Rawls, who prosecutors said was the leader of the Main Street Mafia Crips gang, would be accused in a criminal complaint filed in February 2011 of directing members to kidnap, beat, and rob the victim.
Now, see what you missing about all of these wiretaps. When you caught on a wiretap and you talking about witnesses and witness tampering and people being assaulted and so on and so forth, and you're a part of a criminal organization yourself, at the very least, you're guilty of conspiracy. This is the same thing that Wack 100 was accusing Jim Jones of, coincidentally, for those of y'all that support Wack to the degree that you can't understand facts. You know what I'm saying? Nah, at the very least, the feds had to have talked to this guy. He mixed up in too many investigations. And then dig this here. This is a guy that claims he has been legit since he got out of jail in the late 90s. Now, how do you get mixed up in that many different federal investigations across that many different states? and you're a legit person. I wasn't mixed in that many different federal investigations, and I had a 10-year career as a drug dealer in multiple states. Figure that one out. What the fuck is this guy doing? You know what I'm saying? You gotta, I don't know, bro.
Victim, Robert Ross. CS2 Back will play a pivotal role in that case. Both helping authorities connect the dots to Dale Dog via the wiretap phone calls and eventually helping Main Street beat their case.
Look, now that's Shaq throwing it up.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack.
This is what I'm trying to figure out, though, Box. Help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call Dog, remember?
I tried to
and he
call
won't take
Dog.
your call. And I sent it to you. And he said
I talked to Dog.
But see, these West Coast niggas playing real foul because it's already been exposed that in Big U case, he knew his phone was tapped, yet he still used his phone to conduct business, press people, and make phone calls and have people discuss their business with him. Like, it's a lot of dirty filthiness going on the west side of the game with these type of activities. So basically, you, at the very least, you knew your phone was tapped and you still calling people, conducting business and having conversations.
He said he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't take your call, but he said he wouldn't talk. Yeah, and Dog said he was cool. He didn't want to talk to you in the paperwork. That's what you said is going off.
Now look, Shaq throwing it up. Now the whole thing with Shaq is his wife was messing around with a gang member and they was extorting him. And this is the messed up thing when you're a powerful man or you getting money or you're a successful dude. Once you make it to a level, I know it may not be fair to your woman either because she a human. She trying to do what she trying to do, which should be keeping her fucking legs closed. I mean, you done already conquered the world. Why she can't hold the pussy for you? It's crazy. But we're going to leave that out the bunch. But the thing about it is men kill, die, and go to jail, and women go on to fuck somebody else. Now, look at all the trouble that Shaq's wife caused. And then out of respect for the fact that she's a woman, you got all of these niggas who didn't risk going to jail. Some went to jail. So whatever the case, risking their lives, whatever the case. And she's still out here fucking and sucking. That's a problem.
But that whole Main Street shit, that was your play. I had nothing to do with it. I was a victim.
Only 1 month after the indictment of the Main Street,
I was a victim.
Mafia Crip. Dismissed from that 2006 unlawful possession of a firearm case where he was caught with multiple firearms and ammunition.
But they undercharged him from the gate. This was what he did is a federal crime. On top of the fact that you're a felon, he broke several federal laws. Why was it a state case?
The stated reason for the dismissal was not lack of evidence or a violation of Wack 100's rights, as he claims, but based on the paperwork, Wack 100's gun case was dismissed in the interest of justice. So investigating this story, we tapped in with our brother Deuce M's from Chuck's, a very popular California-based media company. They really tapped into the streets. And, you know, Deuce M's, man, this is somebody who, when it comes to Wack 100, and he's done extensive research on this guy. He really breaks down, you know, how Wack 100, you know, and why he concocted this whole improper search and seizure thing.
So this is my question. So Wack has addressed this before, right? Because we know the story real. We got the paperwork. He can't dispute it. It's a real case. He really got caught with hella guns as a felon in Texas. With other people, and his brother was a felon, right? So it was 2 felons that got caught, right? So he's explained. Has he ever explained how these charges got dropped? Because you sent me the paperwork, and I see what it say, and it says in the interest of justice.
I sent you the video where he claims that it was dismissed
for illegal search and seizure, right? Now, within that same paperwork that you got, I got that paperwork from the clerk of Wheeler County, Texas, the deputy clerk, old Debbie McLaughlin, right? And you probably can see that on the email. Which essentially argue fruits of a poisonous tree based upon the argument that this was an illegal search and seizure.
Right, I saw that. And the judge denied that.
Right. Now, Wack, I'm going to send you the thing where Wack is saying that's how his case got dismissed.
I get pulled over and the search happened in Texas, right? So immediately, that's why they...
Man, this shit is crazy. Absolutely, positively crazy. You gotta wonder. So that's your motivation for exposing snitches is because you done did some J. Reed.
Had the Fed hold. They like, well, yeah, you know, he crossed the state lines, but you can't prove none of that. How you know I didn't pick it up in Texas? If she found something. Wheeler County. There you go. Cass Jones, Wheeler County. Them motherfuckers. Hey, bro, shout out to Texas for having audio and video on the front of their squad cars. Because if I'd have been in Cali Beach, I'd have been fucked. I'd have had to take it. Yeah, because they have the right.
Man, you don't get the fuck out of here. People, and I know this because I was a drug trafficker, people from one state get caught in another with shit all the time without the police being able to say you picked it up here or there and go to fucking federal jail, federal prison, bro, with a lawyer. What the fuck are we talking about here, man?
The report based on the audio, the video and the audio. Yeah. Like if I'd have been California, it'd have been my word against theirs, but the ex-con word against theirs or how they got it. Them niggas could have said they saw something on the back seat. They could have said all kind of shit. But because they had audio and video, that's what saved it.
Right. So basically, Wack is lying about why this case got dismissed, and we know that because we contacted the clerk in Texas. They sent the paperwork, and it clearly states that his motion to suppress was denied because the judge found that none of his rights got violated. They did the right kind of search, and this is what they found. So then when they had the right probable cause. So he didn't get that evidence suppressed. So then when I see the motion to dismiss and the judge grants it, and I see it's a list of all of these things that it could be.
Right.
And it's a lot of
checked.
You said what?
One of the boxes is checked.
Right.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people don't be saying about all this shit. Like, these motherfuckers should have never been allowed to be in the streets anyway. You know, if you getting caught doing something, you need not do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why Juan-o don't steal. I don't steal. I got caught. Every time I stole something as a kid, I fucking got caught. These motherfuckers have been busted as gang bangers. They've been busted as jack boys. They've been busted as businessmen. Nigga, go get you a job. Go get a fucking job. Nigga, ain't none of this shit you doing for you. And then you sit on the internet like you're the arbiter of what street culture is. I'm going to tell you the number one rule out there, kids. Don't fucking get caught. Don't get caught. And if you ride around selling drugs, don't be doing drugs. You understand? You understand? Don't keep the guns with the drugs. Don't do business with people you need a gun for. But that don't mean you let somebody think you do or don't got a gun on you. You know what I'm saying? That's a secret. You know what? I'm going to figure this shit out. I'm going to figure out some way to teach you cats the real game, because this shit is appalling.
Only one of the boxes is checked, but the things that it could be were surprising because it was like lack of evidence. Nope, that's not the problem. Illegal search and seizure. Nope, that's not the problem. Like, I think it said something like the person that died, or it was like a few different reasons why they would drop the case, and none of those things were X'd off except for this thing that they call in the interest of justice. What's your take on what does that mean? when a person get a case dismissed? Like, what is in the interest of justice? What does that usually mean?
Man, they going light on him because he ain't just get a case dismissed. Like Wack said itself, they had a federal hold. How you dodge them federal charges? They didn't know where NBA Youngboy got them guns from. But just him having one, being a felon, made him a felon in possession, which is a fucking federal crime, bro. What the fuck is going on here, man?
That was the first time I ever heard it, right? So, in the interest of justice essentially means that the prosecution filed that motion to dismiss the case. So, Wack 100's attorneys and Wack 100 had to convince the prosecution that it would be in the interest of justice that two ex-felons crossing federal state lines, making it traveling interstate commerce, making it a federal case, that sending out that message is that it's cool. It's in the interest of justice that we don't prosecute this dude, which is a far-fetched reach, right?
Especially in Texas. When I mean, for it's people that got 5 years for just weed in Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
You know what I'm saying? So this is my other question. So, like you said, he's trafficking guns across state lines. Him and his brother are already convicted felons. Somehow, some way, they get their charges dropped. Why did this thing never go federal?
Right? The feds have put a fed hold on him off of the top. He admitted to the police in a statement to the trooper, Darren Chase, that they had came from California and he was going to pick up his mother for because she came travel.
Boom! So even he busted his own lie, man. What the fuck is going on with this guy?
But the dude, once Wack 100 says that he got a bail, his brother didn't get bail. They let him out first. He only had $180, but he had a black card. He says that a white man picked him up, him and his brother, but if the bail bonding was closed until a couple days later, how did you? And then he said the airport was 50 miles away. He was transferred to Beaumont, a federal facility or some kind of holding facility in Beaumont. He was in jail for not just a night or overnight to the next day. He says 6-7 days later, he was still in jail on a hold, and that the feds came all the way to where he was at to tell him, hey, look, we don't want to pick up the case. Like, why?
Bullshit. 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 You a dude that got a name for himself. You running a business, ex-gang member, felon. You connected to Suge Knight. Matter of fact, this is why you around Suge Knight. Felon, guns in Texas. Feds don't want to pick it up. You connected to Suge Knight and the gang, man. You don't get the fuck out of here, bro. You don't get out of here. The feds pick up all kind of dumbass cases. Oh, look at what they doing to Diddy. The feds putting all their resources behind some shit every nigga making more than $50,000 a year doing. Nigga, I done had women flew me out. Juan-o done been flued out. And she bought the liquor and the weed and me some clothes and all type of shit. And it was strictly for the purposes of sex. Are we gonna put her in jail, man? The fuck out of here. The feds ain't pick up the case.
Why would the feds come talk to you in person?
Right, they just wouldn't pick it up.
Or they would fax over information to the jail or to the district attorney in that city. Now y'all can pick it up. We can't do it.
And you saying you talked to the feds without your lawyer, right? That's what you said. That's what he said. That's what he said. I'm not tripping. Is that what the nigga said?
Why did they have to come speak to you face to face and then you get a bail?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then they don't pick it up. So this was the interesting thing I'm gonna put in there, and it's gonna come with the story.
And I'm gonna let you know, when you get a bail hold All of that shit is wired. As soon as your bail hold is released, the court know about it, because you got to remember, money is being held up. All of this shit is in the interest of money. And if you got a bail hold, that means that other jurisdiction's supposed to get their just desserts as well. So the same way they able to wire it right over that you got a jail hold, they wire it right over that it's released, because it's illegal to hold a free man. You understand? So it's a whole lot of rigmarole. This is man. My bad, Cash. My bad, Cash. The content is the content, but the truth is the truth.
Like I said, we working on the story. Within 1 month, so in my research, and this is a little spoiler, man. So you know what I'm saying? Within the research, that Main Street Mafia case where Wack 100, we know by now, was caught on the wiretap. The indictment for that case was February 2011. That's when those guys got indicted. Now the case getting dropped in June, but they got indicted in February 2011. Wack 100
case was going on before that,
huh?
But the case,
the case started in 08. So yeah, I know the case started in 08, and they was investigating it that whole time. Wack was caught on wiretap in 08, but they actually didn't file the charges to 2011.
Because went to jail.
Coincidentally, a month later, Wack 100 gets his Texas gun case dropped almost a month to the day in March of 2011.
In furtherance of justice, like the paperwork said.
And you
did your calculation.
You can check the dates. I was gonna say you can check the dates. They indicted Bell Dog and Main Street Mafia Crips in February 2011.
Look here, man. We ain't gotta listen to no more. I'm gonna tell you something. Typically, people trying to tell you who you have to be, how you have to be, and what it's supposed to be, ain't standing up to none of that shit. Typically, the motherfuckers egging you on to be the toughest nigga in the room, because they the toughest nigga in the room is typically the softest motherfucker in the room. You know, the girl that want to go through your phone believes she got some real bullshit in her phone. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, man. You gotta look at where people coming from when they shooting shit at you. And the reason they might be shooting shit at you is because they full of that same shit they trying to shoot at you. And that's just the end of the story. I ain't got no hatred. I ain't got no love for Wack 100. I don't really know, dog. He is very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? He do make the algorithm move on the internet. He is a partner to my man Cash. So Cash, hey, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But we all know goddamn well if Wack 100 had these same facts about somebody else, he'd be on the internet screaming it, yelling it, on Pyru it. And to be honest with you, I really don't care if he is snitch or not. All that shit they doing over there in No Jumper is enough to be disfellowship to me. But I'm going to let that rest. You know, y'all let that white boy do y'all like that, and he the only one making money. Y'all over there killing niggas for any and everything they do. But he able to do it all. He able to say whatever. He able to challenge, disrespect, let it be known he'll shoot the shit out of one of you niggas too. Or snitch on you. It's crazy. I don't know. You guys, the value, I gotta say this. When you leave the Midwest and the South, when you leave like middle America, the value of being black to a black person is very different. I know we do a lot of killing of each other and shit like that, but we don't just let other people slide with that bullshit either. And you motherfuckers clearly out there for sure, you clearly believe white ice is colder, man. What the fuck? We out this bitch. Guns in Texas, felon, gang member, weed,